What's up, Chargers fans? A little bit of news. I think the Chargers are hosting Kyle Van Noy, formerly of the Detroit Lions and Miami Dolphins, and of course, New England Patriots, for a visit. It sounds like he is going to sign. So I just wanted to talk very briefly about, what he could bring, what his role would be, et cetera, et cetera. So just quick news. I think when he officially does sign, then A, we'll talk about it on the podcast, and B, maybe I'll do a film breakdown. But I just wanted to talk about kind of what it could mean real quickly and then go more in depth later on. So the Chargers are currently hosting Kyle Van Noy for a visit, but they have not signed him yet, but they're probably going to sign him. So Tyler Dragon. So I think Ian Rapoport first reported that he was going in for a visit, but now Tyler Dragon from USA Today reports that he's expected to sign a contract with the team. And that makes sense. I don't see why you'd bring him in and then not sign him to a contract. I know Steven isn't the biggest fan of BYU, so maybe Steven wouldn't sign him to a contract, but the Chargers certainly do need to. And he's just such an upgrade over what they currently have. I think at worst, you do have a guy who's been, while not maybe the best edge rusher in the league, you at least have a guy who I feel has been proven, right? You can get 20, 25, 30 pressures out of him. Whereas someone like, we'll talk about him in a bit, but Chris Rumph, he has to make a very, very big jump from what he did last year to this year to be a legit edge 3. Whereas now, maybe he is edge 3, but I don't think so anymore. But you don't have to rely on him as much. You can feel a lot better about your edge group here. I certainly do. So Kyle Van Noy, the last 3 years, 58 pressures, 7 sacks with New England in 2019, 31 pressures, 5 sacks in 2020. The classic leave New England, drop off in stats thing happened. And then in 2021, back to New England with 27 pressures, 5 sacks. So, this is not a guy who's going to get 50 pressures this year. I certainly wouldn't expect that. That'd be great, but I wouldn't expect that as an edge 3-4 sort of guy. I'm just going to say edge 3. I think he's edge 3. But still, those numbers are much better than what they had in Kyler Fackrell, last year, Chris Rumph last year, which is 12 pressures, 3 sacks from Fackrell, and 4 pressures, 1 sack from Chris Rumph. So I think no matter how you look at it, yes, I do think Chris Rumph could take a leap forward this year, but at least I know now there's a guy in the building who can be a legitimate edge 3 and even potentially an edge 2 in a pinch if needed, for sure. Because they had to make this move. Like, I know people don't think I like Chris Rumph because last year I was very critical of his run defense and that film breakdown, but I want him to do well, but we have to be real with ourselves here. Like, and I said this yesterday on the podcast, I mean, Chris Rumph, second-year edge, former 4th-round pick, second worst pass rush win rate among rookies last year, third worst in pass rush productivity, just among rookies. And then among edge rushers, all NFL edge rushers with as many pass rush snaps as he had, 136th in pressures, 129th in pass rush productivity, 129th in pass rush win rate. It's a big jump. And if he takes a big jump this year, I'm all for it. If he wants to get 1 billion pressures and 1 million sacks, great. But the idea of counting on him to do that is not, it's a bad process, right? I think this whole offseason, I'm talking about process versus results. If the result is Chris Rumph, being 1 billion pressure edge rusher, edge 3, great. But I think the process of assuming that he's going to go from the guy who was one of the worst in the league as a pass rusher, granted as a rookie and a 4th rounder, the idea that he would go from that to a legit edge 3 who can get you as many pressures as a, Kyle Van Noy, obviously, or a Kyler Fackrell or whoever, that's just a big leap. And, behind them, I get that people are very, some people are high on Jamal Davis, but I don't believe he's played an NFL snap since 2019. Ty Shelby, I've watched him. I think he can develop. I think if they keep 5 edge rushers, I think they could keep him over Emeka Egbule. I wrote here, Emeka Egbule is dead to me. If you know why, you know why. If not, no worries. It's just not a good group. This is not a complete group. This is honestly not even a good group for edge 3. Again, no offense to Rumph, but that's a huge, 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 huge jump you're expecting of him if he was your edge 3. Now you don't have to worry about that as much. So the other thing is, I think people are wondering, well, he's listed as a linebacker. So what role is he going to play? Do we have a 6th linebacker in the room? No, he's going to play. He could play some inside. Don't get me wrong, But based on what he did last year, and based on the quick clips I'm going to show you in a second, it seems like he's projected to be more that edge rusher, outside linebacker, not inside linebacker. So he played 812 snaps in 2021, 208 as the left outside linebacker, 227 as the right outside linebacker. And then he even had 40 coverage snaps as a slot corner or wide corner, whatever that means. Well, I know what that means, but I haven't watched him do it. So I don't know if he was legitimately covering a line or a tight end one-on-one, or if he was just out there because the coverage dictated or whatever. So I'm really curious to go in and figure out what his role is in coverage last year. But by all accounts, he seems like a guy who's going to be, can be flexible, can play some inside, but and obviously is good in coverage or is used to being in coverage frequently in the slot or even out wide, surprisingly. But this is this is obviously an edge rusher. This is not an inside linebacker, and I feel great about it. And I don't know what I haven't watched his film per se, but he's number 53 right here. I just screen grabbed a couple of plays just to kind of get an idea for where he was lined up, because I wanted to make sure he was actually playing as that outside linebacker, as that edge rusher. And yeah, number 53 right here on the left side of your screen. 2 sacks against the Falcons. He's going to play the edge and then just get. I don't think getting Matt Ryan for a sack like that is something to write home about. But hey, you got to do it. You got to make the plays. Here he is right here, sort of at the bottom. He's your left outside linebacker again. So just wanted to show that he is in coverage sometimes, or that he is an outside linebacker and he's an edge rusher. So yeah, I'm pretty thrilled with this. I really needed them to sign somebody because, as much as I want somebody else to succeed on this team, as much as I think these people can take a step forward, relying on them to be a 25, 30, 35 pressure person and potentially a 3-4 game starter for them when Bosa or Matt goes down, that's a big leap for me. So taking somebody who had, 58, 31, 27, 36, 20 pressures in their last few seasons sounds pretty good to me. So what do you guys think? I'm pretty stoked with this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. When he does sign, which sounds like he is, when he does sign, one of us will do a film breakdown. We'll obviously talk about it more on the show, but just wanted to get you guys caught up. All right, guys.